Welcome to FRE Lunch, the official podcast of the Food and Resource Economics Department at the University of Florida. I'm Elena Poulin, the Marketing and Communications Specialist for the department.
And I'm Caleb Stair, Assistant Instructional Professor of Food and Resource Economics and the Coordinator for Undergraduate Research in the department, meaning I get to interact regularly with the members of our FRE community and see all the cool and interesting topics being explored.
That's why we made this podcast, to showcase the many ways students and faculty are using economic research to understand and address the complex issues facing agricultural and natural resource industry.
From Dracula to Dogman, cryptids continue to fascinate the average person. That fascination drives people to visit many areas, and when they visit these areas, they are bringing their spending power with them. We call this phenomenon cryptid tourism, and it just so happens to be the topic of today's special Halloween edition of FRE Lunch.
That's right. Whether you're a big Bigfoot believer or a skunk ape skeptic, this episode has something for you.
Cryptid tourism is somewhat of a subset of paranormal tourism, which broadly includes visits to any setting or locale for the explicit purpose of potentially encountering or learning about paranormal phenomena. This could be for leisure, investigation, or conventions. Doesn't matter. People are coming to these areas in droves.
And while they're there, people are participating in a wide range of activities. This ranges from things like ghost tours to Bigfoot searches or squatching, as it is colloquially known. The popularity of these activities has been influenced greatly by social media, marketing, and the internet.
With it being Halloween, some of these enthusiasts, such as myself, may even find themselves purchasing a Sasquatch costume. This year, about 72% of Americans were planning to participate in Halloween celebrations of some sort.
This includes, of course, things like trick-or-treating, carving pumpkins, attending a local fall festival, and, of course, dressing for the occasion.
This year, Americans were planning to spend about $3.8 billion on Halloween costumes, or a little over $30 per person. While this includes a wide range of characters from scarecrows to superheroes, it also includes your local urban legends.
Well, how much did your cryptid costume cost, Caleb?
Well, it depends. This one costs $120, but it's not for Halloween. I plan on wearing this baby year-round.
Here in Swampy, Florida, our resident cryptid is the skunk ape. It's kind of like Bigfoot, only it's a whole lot smellier.
Exactly. But there are people who come from all over the world to look for it. Some people even make it a business, an event, or even a way to market an activity.
If you ever find yourself in Florida and you're headed south down towards the Everglades, you might end up at the official Skunk Ape Research Headquarters. Just this past year, this Squatch Searchers Sanctuary secured the second highest ranking amongst top roadside attractions in the country, according to USA Today's 10 Best Reader Choice rankings.
In October of last year, Charlotte County's land management team got in on the fun, using the skunk ape to encourage visitors to get up, get out, and get active in their local parks.
As part of a scavenger hunt, skunk ape prints were hidden throughout several of the parks in West Charlotte County.
They were even pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, it's clear that the skunk ape may sometimes scare, but it also cares.
Cool.
Even outside of the cryptid-loving community, Sasquatch are used to market things in useful and innovative ways, regardless of where you land on the whole exists or doesn't exist debate. To learn more about this, we're joined today by the marketing geniuses behind UF Smathers Libraries' latest campaign and mascot, the Sasquatch. That's spelled S-A-S-C.
Hi, I'm Alex Avellino, and I'm the Director of Marketing Communications for the Smathers Libraries.
And I'm Ray Riska. I'm the Communications Assistant for the Smathers Libraries.
And so what exactly is the Sasquatch and how did you guys come up with it?
Yeah, the Sasquatch is a large, non-gendered Yeti or skunk ape, depending on what region of the country you're from. And the idea actually came from Ray's father.
Yeah, so our curators, it's spelled SASC-Watch, which is Special Area Studies Collection. They had a sticker that had a little Sasquatch on it, and I ended up bringing it home to my dad. And he loves everything Sasquatch, everything Bigfoot, and said, why don't you guys do a social media series on this? And so that's kind of where the idea began and started.
Yeah, so Ray said that, and I went on Amazon and found the official Jack Link Sasquatch costume. I think he's a Yeti online, and we bought it. If anything is less than like $200, I think it's a good idea, and you may as well just shoot your shot.
So from your dad giving you this idea to, I'd say, kicking it off, was that like a 2-day sort of thing? How long did it take to develop the idea?
We had a summer intern who is fabulous. And we needed to give her projects. So she had a specific June project and a July project, but we didn't know what we were doing for August. And we said, well, we're going to ask her if she's willing to put on the suit. And so we decided, why don't we have her put on the suit, go into the Special and Area Studies collections over in the Smathers Library building and interview some of the curators and just teach the students about the different areas.
Yeah.
So she put the suit on. Ray, you filmed and she edited.
Yeah, I would say from like beginning to end, once we actually got the suit, it was maybe like a 2-week timeline where we filmed everything and then I passed it off to her and she edited everything in Premiere and we were able to get them up, and like scheduled maybe within a month.
Right. And the target audience originally was students. So if you watch the reels, they're a little unhinged. Like there's random humorous moments. The Sasquatch can be very sassy. Mm-hmm. So that was designed for our audience on Instagram, but it's become very popular for everybody.
Oh, so once the students started seeing these, what was the response like?
So at first, the students seemed like a little bit wary of Sasquatch because it is kind of an odd suit to look at. But then once we kind of hit I think it was our 4th video, which is the grand reading room, it really got a bigger response than, like I was even expecting. Like it has over 400 likes and over 70 shares, which for our account size is pretty good. And from that point on, the students and the curators seemed to get really excited about it. And, we've had requests for Sasquatch to come in and film with some people. And actually, we had our Fall Fest event yesterday and we had Sasquatch walking around. And every single time that we would go to take a break with the Sasquatch, people were coming up to the Fall Fest t-shirt table asking, where did he go? I want to take a picture with him. And so that was a really fun surprise to see students get super involved and be really excited to see the Sasquatch and actually want to take pictures with it.
Say full disclosure, we were some of those people. Sasquatch.
Yeah.
We had to give Sasquatch his beauty breaks.
Breaks.
Take a second, step back, and then get back into
Get a
action.
fan on under that suit.
And in the beginning, like Ray said, the people weren't sure. I was getting a lot of folks messaging me who are friends on the account and saying, what is this? People were a little bit like, what are y'all trying? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's social media. I'm okay with it if it fails. But over time, it certainly did not. The Sasquatch has become very popular.
And it spans really well over a bunch of generations. Like I've seen people from the boomer generation all the way to Gen Z get really excited about it. And I think like very few things have that effect on people, especially when it comes to social media.
And so we've talked a little bit about what student response was like. What has curator or librarian response been to this campaign?
It's been a journey.
Yeah. At first they were wary, but then once people started actually seeing the videos, they got really excited about it. And so we've actually had a few different requests to continue the series and actually have Sasquatch go into some of our more niche special collections. So I think like overall, it's been a positive response from the curators.
Every department on campus has a different personality. So the libraries, we really value our brand. Everybody values their brand, but we really want to make sure that folks know who we are and understand who we are. And so when we pitched this idea of we're going to bring this Yeti into the grand reading room, there was a little bit of resistance. If I could do it again, I think I wouldn't have told anybody. I would have just had Ray film it with a curator who was really excited about it and then shown it to them so that they could know what it was about. It did create a little anxiety. It was something new that we had never done before. And previously, academic libraries don't necessarily have the most unhinged social media presence, but we do. And it's really working for us because that's what students want to see. So bringing a skunk ape into a beautiful room really works for us.
And I think also seeing such like a weird and wacky character in such kind of a research or academia environment makes it a lot more approachable for people. And that is something that curators really want. I've talked to some people in Sask and they want to make sure that they're being approachable and that students are not afraid to come up and ask them questions. And I think seeing that anybody can go in the grand reading room, even a Sasquatch, really makes that something that puts students at ease and makes it a lot easier for them to go in and, not have such a scary experience when they walk into that room.
So shifting a little bit away from the campaign and into the library as a whole, can you provide a little bit of an overview? How big is the library? What types of resources does it provide? Is it just for students or can anybody come in?
We're super proud that we are the largest academic resource system in the state. So the Smathers Libraries are 6 on-campus libraries. We have satellite branches in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Jupiter. We have almost 300 employees. A good chunk of those are full-time librarians. They are subject specialists, so you can ask them specific things about your major or your area of research. We have a dedicated team to academic research consulting services. So that's for faculty and students working on a research project. Anybody can come in the library. So even like folks in the public could come in the library, but they might not be able to borrow something because you do have to have a Santa Fe or a UFID to do that. But like students should feel like it's theirs. We are arguably one of the main resources for the students, other than maybe like the gym, that every student, no matter their major, is coming in and out on a daily basis. So the students can identify which branch is their favorite based on the vibes. I think students don't realize that there are 6 on-campus branches too. And we really try to make that known.
Yeah.
Staff, do you know that you have access to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times for free through the libraries? You do. You guys didn't know that, I think. So you can find that out on our website. You can find that on UFHR, like UF at Work. So faculty, staff, and students, the libraries are for you. We are illuminating your excellence. So you should feel like we can provide for you virtually or in person answers, resources, space for whatever you need.
Faculty, that's new information to me. So.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is.
So we have like the amount of journals that we pay for, please use them. So what I would recommend is if you're interested in anything, what are you guys interested in? Tell me. What's like a hobby? The weirder, the better.
Well, yours is cryptids.
Yeah, cryptid hunting.
Okay, hunting. Do you know that you can borrow a trail cam from the libraries? So we have equipment. We have sewing machines, the Marston Makerspace. If you're like, I feel like getting into sewing, you don't have to go buy a bunch of stuff. Like try it before you buy it. That's our big thing. Borrow before you buy.
Yes. And honestly, the fact that it's not major specific makes a really huge difference, because I know specifically with the Makerspace, people go in there to 3D print, whereas like you don't have to be an architecture major, and it's actually a lot cheaper than the architecture printing. And so it opens that world up to so many more students and so many more interests than you normally would be able to have if you were just relying on what your major provides to you.
Sure. And faculty, you know, a lot of us have some remote work days built into the week now. If you don't feel like going to a coffee shop, pick one of the 6 on-campus libraries. Free AC, free Wi-Fi, resources, good energy, be among the students. Pretty much whatever you like. We either have texts, databases, journals, or a librarian who can answer questions for you.
Do you guys have any other final thoughts you want to leave us with?
At UF Lib, please follow us everywhere. We can be found 24/7 online. I recommend if you're on campus, whether you're new or old, try to visit every library. It would be a fun little quest. Walk into all 6 and see which one you like the most.
It makes a great 5K. I have walked the entire library's route, and it is almost exactly a 5K.
We have a Smathers 5K. We'll send you the route.
Yeah.
I'm teaching an intro class again. I'm going to have my students do something like that.
Yeah.
Scavenger hunt.
It's really good. It gets you out in nature, and you get to see all 6 libraries.
Go Gators.
Okay.
Go Gators.
What was that?
Oh, didn't I tell you? Since it's a spooky time of year, I figured it was the perfect time to introduce our guest host, Christa Court.
You mean ghost host?
For those of you who've listened to episode 1, you might remember Dr. Christa Court. She's an associate professor of food and resource economics. His focus is on regional economics, and she often does a lot of economic impact analysis. She's also a cryptid curious person who enjoys learning about these supernatural creatures. So, Christa, can you tell us why people looking for cryptids or visiting houses that are haunted might be good for a local area's economy?
Yeah. Cryptid and paranormal related tourism and recreational activities, such as cryptid hunting, haunted activities, ghost tours, paranormal or cryptid themed books, movies, souvenirs, and marketing campaigns all generate revenue for local economies. The spending associated with these activities supports businesses, sustains jobs, and boosts the overall economy, particularly in regions where reports of paranormal activity or cryptid sightings are found in large numbers.
And does it stop there?
No, it doesn't. The sales revenues and jobs associated with the activities I just mentioned are considered direct effects. There are also indirect effects, which captures things like the purchases of input supplies and services to keep a Bigfoot museum up and running for visitors, and induced effects, which captures economic activity supported through the spending of employee income on things like food, medical expenses, housing in the local economy.
And so you're kind of interested in this topic. Have you ever done any cryptid tourism yourself?
Yes. In fact, I've visited the Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia, twice, maybe 3 times. And we've also, both times that I was a visiting scholar at a university in Scotland, we made sure to make a visit up to the Highlands and to Loch Ness. And so we went to the Loch Ness Centre, which is in Drumnadrochit, Scotland. twice. And once we went on a boat tour of Loch Ness to look for Nessie.
And did you find her?
It didn't.
You know, Caleb and I actually went to a conference that's kind of like that too. Do you remember, Caleb, that Bigfoot conference we went to?
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
So it was called the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, and it happens every year in Ocala, Florida. While we were there, Caleb and I created some economic impacts of our own. We bought souvenirs, and then we also visited a local restaurant for some food.
Oh, yeah. And the souvenir I bought sits in Christa's office. It's a Bigfoot blanket. And that's just the Florida version. Bigfoot reportedly generates more than $140 million a year for the American economy, according to the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine.
Other cryptids also generate a spooky amount of economic activity. The 2022 UFO Festival generated about $2 million in direct sales revenue for Roswell, New Mexico. It also brought over 40,000 visitors to the city, according to estimates and data compilations created by city staff.
And if you are a Nessie fan, like Dr. Court, Castle Cruises in Loch Ness believes that over 70% of their visitors come in search of Nessie. These visits amount to an industry that is worth up to 41 million pounds. So it seems to be the case that whether you believe or not, paranormal activities definitely have an impact on local areas. And this fall, if you are inclined, go seek out your own local cryptids and haunted places. You might be thrilled or surprised and maybe learn something along the way.
For those of you who are currently students, faculty, or staff at the University of Florida, go check out their library, engage with the Sasquatch on social media, and make sure that you're taking full advantage of the resources available to you during your time here.
So, is our ghost host gone?
I think so.
Oh, good. Stuff of nightmares. If you've made it this far, you've finished the entire episode, and we thank you for that. Tune in next time for more food for thought. Thanks again for joining us on this episode of FRE Lunch. We hope you'll come back again for seconds.